say you are what you eat, so I don't eat chicken feet. But I love me some of Grandma's pickled beets. Well, cut it up, put it in the pan, throw it over your shoulder and see where it lands right here in Farmer's Kitchen. Maters, taters, beans and corn, the cows in the barn and the sheep's been shorn, kids in the barnyard chasing Grandpa's chicken. Spices, slices, cuts and dices, gonna slash your grocery prices right here in Farmer's Kitchen. Help you grow your garden good with recipes to suit your mood. Try some grub you've never tried before. Smash it with a wooden mallet, gonna educate your palate. Right here in Farmer's Kitchen, in Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen. We're gonna cook something good now.
Funding for Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen is brought to you by Harvest Energy Solutions, Harvest Cabins, when you absolutely have to get away. The City of Stanford, Kentucky. Come back home to Stanford. Woods Equipment Company has every tool you need to make working the land as rewarding as hunting it. Good Foods Co-op, Marksbury Farm Market, Weisenberger Mill, your village shop.
Hello and welcome to Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen and Nicki's Country Kitchen. You know, a lot of people don't know the history of the show. We've been on almost, well, we're going to start in our 4th season shortly.
It's hard to believe.
That's unbelievable. But at the beginning of the show, you had never been on television and you didn't really want to. So I kept kind of asking her to come on, and this was kind of experimental. Up to this point, she finally decided that, yes, she's going to be here.
So am I the boss now?
No.
Okay, I got it. Okay.
So here we are with food in front of us. How could that happen?
I don't know. Looks good though.
Well, it did happen. Tonight, you know, Thanksgiving's right around the corner, so people have asked for some recipes. We're looking for unique things for Thanksgiving, sides, so on and so forth. It's a little bit early, but you got to start planning.
Right.
I mean, it's right around the corner. So tonight, we're going to do a side that's absolutely delicious, even if you don't like Brussels sprouts.
Yeah, it's great.
It really is good. And we're going to also talk about what to do with your leftover turkey, because usually we have piles and piles and piles of it.
Right.
We're going to do that side. But first, let's visit with some folks. Now, I went to have lunch with Cliff and his dad, John. And John started to tell me about how he has prepared his turkey over the last several years, and it's a hit with his family. It's outside. There's no mess in the kitchen. You know, you're always looking for oven space because you got to, you know, whether you make dressing or other things in the oven, sweet potatoes, whatever.
A lot of sides.
A lot of sides. This frees up the oven. Let's go outside and see what they're doing.
Okay.
John Swain, we've been talking about this for a while.
Yes, we have.
Now, when this airs, it'll be November. People will be thinking about Thanksgiving. They'll be thinking about clever ways of cooking their turkey. This is beyond kind of anything I've seen. I was talking to your son, and he told me about what you have done over the years. And I thought, wow, if that's not a country kitchen outdoor cooking segment, I don't know what is. First of all, the thing that fascinated me is it's outside. The big draw here, 90 minutes for a 12, 13-pound bird.
90 minutes, most of the time.
Ridiculous. And good taste.
And good taste. Most of the moisture remains in the bird, and it's tender as can be, and it's pretty, and it doesn't tie up the kitchen while somebody's trying to cook something else.
Exactly, doesn't mess anything up. Here's the deal. When you started talking about this, I think, well, it's got to be terribly complicated. It's probably one of the easiest, and it makes so much sense. And it's right in the Dutch oven realm. It's convection cooking.
That's exactly right.
Tell us how you start. First of all, how do you prepare your area?
Need a pretty level surface to work with.
But you took a post. It's a cedar post.
That's right.
You covered it with aluminum foil.
Correct.
Then you capped it with aluminum foil.
That's right.
So you don't get it dirty on the stick or anything.
That's
You
right.
basically knocked it into the ground.
That's right. On top of aluminum foil that's already been spread on the ground.
Then you take your bird.
Legs down and impale the bird essentially on the stake.
Now you also put salt and pepper on the inside and
Salt and
outside.
pepper on the inside and the outside of the bird before you put it onto the stake. Get the charcoal ready, put the charcoal on top of the one layer on top of the can, pile the rest of the charcoal around the perimeter of the can and let it cook. Come back 90 minutes later and see what you've got.
You've got the taste of the charcoal.
A little bit, just a hint. Just a hint. It's got
Because
a
it's on
little
the
bit of a
outside.
smoky flavor to it. Most of the smoky flavor comes from its own juices as it hits that hot side of that can and it smokes its own juices up inside the turkey. It's delicious.
Now that is not your traditional full-size trash can, I have noticed.
No, it's not. It's not. I think it's a 10 or 15 gallon can, probably 10. I can't remember. I've had it so long I can't remember what the size of it is. If you're gonna do this for the first time, it's probably a good idea to burn the can off first
Any
before
kind
you
of
put a bird
chemicals
in
or
it, just to
anything?
get the
Yeah.
impurities burned out of it and
Good call
any
on
kind of
that.
a lingering aroma that might get infused into the bird.
I really like where you're going with this. And in the meantime, the oven is freed up in the house for
That's
doing
right.
whatever, the dressings or anything. And you made one more point that your wife said something about. Obviously, I guess you could put something in case some of the juices under here, but she prepares ahead of time for that.
She does. She starts a month or 2 months ahead of time and saves all the chicken broth that she generates and those fine meals she fixes me and stores it. And so that when it's time to make the dressing or the gravy or whatever else she needs, she's ready to go.
So she pretty much sends you outside.
She hadn't cooked a turkey and I don't know when.
How many years realistically you think you've been doing this?
20 or 25 probably.
No kidding. It's fantastic. Well, now we get to sit back and walk around, take a look at the cabin,
Yeah.
go look at some other stuff, and then we'll come back and check on it.
Sounds good.
All right.
Well, let's see what we've got here. Just like Christmas, I hope.
I can't wait to see this.
And when the 90 minutes is up, you can very carefully pick the can up off the turkey and see what it looks like. Stick a thermometer in there and get yourself up about 165 or 170, and we're there.
165.
We got it.
Wow.
Chevy Chase would be proud, wouldn't he?
And you had this timed exactly. You said we're going to check this at such and such time. We did. It's 165 degrees. So what's the first thing you carve off of this?
I think it's goes back to the code of Hammurabi that you're supposed to eat the crispy part off the neck first.
Okay.
So I think
Should
you
I?
should. I think you should.
Oh,
Look
I
at
guess.
that.
Oh, man.
Plenty moist, even though it's crisp. Got a little bit of just a hint of a smoky flavor to it. My wife knew I was coming over here today to do this with you, and we agreed that you shouldn't eat good turkey like this without some cranberry sauce. So she got up early this morning and handmade a little bit of cranberry sauce for us to use with this turkey. So
I mean, this
see
is
that?
fresh cranberries out of cranberries.
It's fresh. Yeah, that's
Wow.
that's not jelly out of a can.
Give me some of that up there.
Yeah.
That looks just
Serve you
delicious.
some there, brother.
And what's her name?
Marilyn.
Marilyn, thank you so much.
She is the queen of the
looks good.
kitchen. Try that. Pretty good.
Wow. Now, let's cut a big
You want
hunk
to get a
piece
little bit of it in?
Oh, yeah.
Let's see what we got here. Like dark meat.
Oh, yeah.
That's why we've got him upside down, but that's where the dark meat is.
To me, it's richer. Has a fuller flavor. I like my favorite part of a chicken.
Try
is
that.
thigh.
Get that.
Look
man.
how juicy that is. Look at the moisture in that.
That good?
90-minute outdoor turkey.
90-minute outdoor turkey. Try
John's.
that. Try that little
90
piece
minute
right there.
with the skin. There you go. Now see, now you're talking. Wow.
Low maintenance bird.
I want to thank you for turning me on to something that I'm definitely going to do.
Well,
And
good.
I guarantee you these folks out here are going to be trying this.
Well, good.
This is a beautiful thing. And I know your son, who's standing right over there, he does this. His kids are going to do it. Their kids are going to do it. This is in your family now. And you've kind of passed it down to ours as well, because I know we're all going to be doing this.
Well, thank you for the opportunity to participate with you.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Perfect. Let's rip it apart.
Yeah.
Now, was that not unusual and wonderful
Beautiful.
and outdoors? The perfect turkey in
Like it.
90 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. So, trust me, it's not easy to find that size trash can. We went to some of the places around here. Yeah, I think you need about a 15-gallon one is what that size
have
is.
to search.
10's a little small, but we're still looking for that. If you know where one is, let us know. Tonight, we've got leftover turkey, and you can do this with leftover chicken. And we started talking about some things that we were hungry for.
Right.
You've been starving here lately.
I'm always starving.
I've been starving here lately. You know, before winter,
Yeah.
you always crave carbs. You know,
Keeps you warm.
we got
when you're
Halloween
full.
candy left
Yeah.
over. Yeah, I've got about 10 pounds I need to lose. But anyhow, we started thinking about what we wanted to do with our leftover turkey and some good ideas. And we both went pot pie.
Yeah.
Now, as the show progresses, we can look back at all the things we've done, and you'll start to see a pattern of things that we're using, that we do ourselves, that you can do in your own backyard a lot of times,
Right.
or in your kitchen, regardless, rendering lard.
I love our lard.
What do you think about that whole process? For somebody who's never done it before?
I was amazed at how easy it was and how wonderful it is. And I want it on everything. I'm using that lard with everything. We need to make more.
But what is the best thing you found to use for lard?
Pies. It makes the best pastry. The best pastry ever. I want to make 50 million pies and pastries.
Did you say 50 million?
50 million. Is that too many?
That's a lot of pies and
I'll make
pastries.
49 million.
But it does something, there's something that the consistency
It's better.
of the dough, it's better. One thing you have to have is dough. Now let's harken back, just a week or two ago, you made an apple pie where you made your dough.
Right, same
out
thing.
of our lard.
Over and over.
And you said, best consistency ever.
Yeah.
Taste?
Wonderful.
You
Smells
can taste
good.
the
Yes.
lard in it? I mean, we rendered that down fairly quickly, and we still got a fairly white lard.
We need to make more though. I've used
We
quite a
do.
few.
Well, we have a pig. That's all I'm going to say about that because people get upset, but that's part of life on the farm.
Yeah.
We don't hide the fact that we are having animals that will be used for food. And we have the biggest, spoiled, wonderful animals, and they have a wonderful life.
Yes, they do.
They really do. They're spoiled rotten. Now, that being said, you have your dough ready. Now,
already
we're
made
going to
it.
make our pot pie.
One for me, one for you.
That's exactly right. And you know what? We went to our favorite store the other day, and we got celery, carrots, onions, and potatoes. The thing with the vegetables is there's a lot of ways you can do this. Everybody has different ways of making pot pies. You can take those vegetables, cube them up. You can boil them. You can boil them in chicken broth and let all those
Right.
flavors stay together and put it in there like that. Or you can take them and saute them in butter
I like that.
and saute those vegetables up and just, soften them up and get them ready to put in here so when they bake,
I'm hungry.
they're a little bit cooked. That's the way we like to do it, and that's the way we're going to do it today. Now, that's my typical thing, but you like peas.
I do like peas. They're so sweet.
It adds a sweetness to
Yes.
it. You want some corn too.
Yeah, that'd be good too. That's a good sweet vegetable.
Whatever she asks, she'll get it. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to put a little peas and corn in it as well. You can put anything in there you want, but it's a very simple recipe. So let's get started. First thing you're going to do
Make us
is
some-
line these. I'll tell you what, you're knocking me out with your pastries.
I'm loving making this dough.
Well,
fix
that
it.
is pretty
Isn't that
pastry.
nice?
Go ahead and give them the outline of it. What do you basically use? 3 big tablespoons?
Yes, of our lard, our special lard. And the sugar I kind of put maybe a teaspoon. It's up to your liking. I always put a little salt too. And I like to break that up.
And how much flour?
About 1.5 cups of flour and then add water till I get it to where I like it. People have the way they like their dough.
Typically, how much water do you start with? Half a
Tablespoon
cup?
or 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a couple
okay.
tablespoons and I just keep going. Just keep
You're the
going.
dough. You're the pastry expert, and you do such a beautiful job.
You don't
with it.
measure, you just do. That's
Yeah, and
bad.
you'll notice when you get your own thing going, like Miss Helen. She was folding over that stuff and putting water in it and putting oil in it. And she didn't measure. And she made the best fried apple pies ever. Don't hesitate to look back at our YouTube stuff to figure out some of the stuff we've done before. We've got a lot of stuff on there for you to look at, and you'll find out over time. Your pie dough turns into your pot pie recipe.
Perfect
your
for
pot
everything.
pie turns into your biscuits, so on and so forth.
Now it needs 2 tops and we can set all this aside. Want to clean this up?
There's your tops.
Yeah.
All right, look here. Just basically
Ready.
a piece that you know is going to fit right over top here, and you'll cut the edges off once we fill that with goodies. And I'm going to take me a half stick of butter. Why?
Because you love butter.
Because I love butter. Butter makes me happy. And I'm going to get this melted down over here. We're going to saute our vegetables, and we're probably going to go, I don't know, 10 minutes or so once that gets good and hot. All right, we're going to do get our onions started over here. Our potatoes, our carrots, our celery. Of course, your peas. Gotta have your peas.
I have peas.
And a little bit of corn. We found some of those frozen.
Ready for the rest of this?
Mm-hmm. Now, there's a lot of things you could do spice-wise here. Thyme, rosemary. But you know what? Chef Paul Prudhomme died recently. Man, I'm telling you what, this guy, when it came to spices, any of his magic seasoning blends, when it comes to poultry or seafood or anything, this guy must have had some kind of olfactory system. Everything he did was magic. I really like some of his stuff. I'm gonna put some of that in here.
I have you some fresh basil here if you want, right off the porch.
That smells so good. A lot of people would put parsley in.
Oh, it smells good.
I like basil. It just has a sweeter taste.
We grow it ourselves. It's so good.
So I'm gonna take some basil and put in here like we talked about, fresh basil. We always have fresh basil. We put it out. We try to grow it year round inside if we have to. I'm also gonna take a bouillon cube.
That smells good.
That's the way, I like it right there. And I'm gonna let this stuff cook down. Here's where some people may agree or disagree, but just a little bit of sugar.
Sugar's good.
Yep. Okay, here in a minute, once this cooks down, I'm gonna take 1/4 cup of flour, and I'm gonna put it in here and start to thicken this stuff up. Then I'm gonna add white wine.
Okay.
I'm gonna add chicken broth.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna come back with some half and half and really thicken that up.
Yum.
The oven is preheating right now at 400 degrees. Okay, now, once you get it to where you want it, you wanna put your turkey in there. And again, we're gonna go about 2 cups here. Put that in there.
Oh my goodness, yum. Yum.
Okay,
Delish.
bring me that pie dough over here. I'm gonna dole that out into this. Look at the colors.
It's gonna make 2 little pies perfect,
It's
isn't
gonna
it?
make 2 perfect pies for you and me. So you won't have to wonder about what to do with your leftovers. All right, one-handed egg separation. I brought extra eggs in case I messed
Okay.
up.
Look at you.
Now, look at that little device right there.
That is neat.
Look, the egg white just comes, you just kind of shake it. It separates. There's the last little bit. Now you need that egg white because you do something fantastic with that.
We do. Now let's put our little coverings on first.
Ain't it cute?
Aren't they? Look at these cute little pies.
That smells so good. I could just eat right out of that bowl right there right now. It's a beautiful thing.
Look at those cute little pies.
All right, we're gonna make some little holes so they can vent.
Put the little bit of egg white. That's what makes it nice and brown.
Mm-hmm.
And I made it messy here. How's that look?
Then we're gonna come back and dress it with just a little bit of paprika on top.
Okay. Ooh, looks good.
Now, that's what they look like before they're done. Let's pop them in the oven.
Alrighty.
400 degrees. We're gonna check them in about 35 minutes. Ta-da. All right, this next thing is a side for Thanksgiving. It's a wonderful side. If you don't like Brussels sprouts, maybe you ought to try them this way.
They will love them that way.
We also fried up a piece of bacon, which we're going to use. We're going to boil our about 10 ounces of Brussels sprouts here. We like the frozen because they're already kind of soft once they get to this point in the water. Put just a little bit of butter in there. Tell us what the whole process, give us kind of an overview of this.
Okay. Well, what we're going to do, we're going to have the Brussels. You want those cooked. When they're done, we're gonna set them aside. This is gonna be our eating dish right here. Put them on there. You are sauteing me some onions right now. When those get done where you like how they look, we're gonna go ahead and throw in some water chestnuts with that too, just to kind of warm them up. Bacon.
You hear my stomach growling?
You're hungry. And then set all that aside. Because then I'm gonna need to use that pan again, because we're gonna make almost like a roux. Because this next thing we make, we don't want to heat it very long, because if you do it, it turns into mashed potatoes. So you got to do it real quick. You don't want mashed potatoes. And this is a simple, kind of like just a basic roux. This is about a half a cup of flour here. 1/3 cup chicken broth.
All right.
And use about a 1/3 cup of water. 1/3 cup of wine. Put a little salt and pepper. And we're going to actually put this on the stove, and it's going to thicken up. And here's a little thyme. Let's put a little, what do you say? We're good?
Ready?
Right. We are ready. Go ahead and let's get that warmed
Thickened
up.
up?
Yes, thickened up. And I'm going to go ahead and stick in some butter.
All right.
About a tablespoon.
Very nice.
All right. Now, do you mind if I pour all this in there?
I do not mind.
There you go.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, I like where you're going here.
Now this is, I mean, some people still, you could bake this if you want, like a baking dish, but we're going to eat it. These are cashews that I've crushed in our little crusher, because she needs a little bit of nuts on top here.
Oh, yeah.
This is like, then we have a little bit of breadcrumbs.
And again, when you're stirring this up over here, you don't want your sauce to go too long, too fast, too hot, because it will thicken up.
And if it does, just keep adding some half
Ooh,
and half.
How much? A little bit more
Pepper. And what do you think?
Cream Brussels sprouts.
Yeah. Now we could bake this. We could put butter on top, but
Nah.
I say eat it up.
Now this is something you time. Ooh, look at the steam coming out. You time this to come right out. When this will be the last thing you make.
Right, the cream sauce. What do you think? The crunchy?
We get the onions and the bacon going on in there with the cashews and the breadcrumbs.
Good way to eat Brussels sprouts. Isn't that good?
Oh, that'll work.
You can see how you could bake it, and you could brown the top a little bit if you wanted,
You know what?
like a casserole.
I can have that for dinner, right there.
Me too.
You know what? We get so much correspondence. People email us. They say things on Facebook, so on and so forth. But every now and then they send us some cute stuff.
They do.
Let's go to the couch and do mail call real
Okay.
quick. It's time for Country Kitchen Mail Call, brought to you by Nicki's Tiny Piano and Our 3 Hands. And welcome to Mail Call. We get letters all the time. We get texts and we enjoy them so much. Keep on sending your information on our Facebook page or through snail mail. We like that as well. It says, Dear Tim and Nicki, I've been watching and enjoying your show, and I had an idea that you may be able to use something that I have. Enclosed is an egg separator that I received 30 years ago from Tupperware. It makes separating eggs very easy. Just put the device on a measuring cup, crack the egg over it, and it does all the work. I hope you can get some use out of it and enjoy it. Your friend, Charlene Reese. Thank you so much, Charlene. I will use that every time I separate eggs. And last year, Donna Burke made me down south we call them a toboggan, up north a toboggan is a sled. Nicki's laughing at me. But a nice little orange hat for hunting season to keep my head warm. And she started thinking about it and thought, man, that just wouldn't be fair for Tim to have that and Nicki not to have that. So she says, Dear Nicki, I hope you will enjoy the hat scarf. I didn't know your favorite color, so I hope these colors will work. And if you look at this picture of this lovely model, I think you can see that it works just fine. Thank you so much, Donna Burke. Now, you know what? If you want recipes like this, we've got hundreds and hundreds of them. Check out timfarmerscountrykitchen.com. Check out our recipes. Bunch of stuff on there, how-tos, so on and so forth. Also, check out our Facebook page. See where we're going, what we're doing. Converse with us on there. We like to talk to our extended family out there, our Country Kitchen family.
Oh my.
Look at that. That's beautiful.
Wow. Those look really good. Too good to eat. We can't eat those. Those are too nice looking. Oh, I can't wait.
You ready?
Yes.
How do you even want to break into this? Look at that crust.
Yum.
It's like the perfect crust. I smell it. That is your perfect meal.
That is.
It's got everything you need. It's got the bread, it's got the meat, it's got the vegetables.
It's hot. Be careful.
I'm aware.
Such a simple dish, but how absolutely wonderful. And we do have to say, it's kind of sad, but it's time to go. This half hour is over. But until then, until next week, it's all about good times.
Good friends.
And good eats.
Good job.
Very nice with it.
Delicious.
Oh, well.
To order a cookbook or DVD of the show, please call 502-319-0487 or email timfarmerck@gmail.com. Special thanks to Furniture World Superstore, Housewarmings, Lodge Cast Iron, Tater Knob Pottery and Farm. Funding for Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen is brought to you by Kentucky Sheep and Goat Development Office. Try something different tonight. L81 Bottling Company. Taste, love, and share the tradition. Diamond Gusset Jeans. The original Gusset Jean. Careful craftsmanship. Continual improvement. Diamond Gusset Jeans. Born and worn in the USA since 1987.
Is it the insightful strategies and analytical capabilities that make Edward Jones one of the biggest financial services firms in the country? Or is it 13,000 financial advisors who take the time to say thank you?
Night, Jim. Gonna be a while?
I am, Liz. Got a little writing to do.
It's why Edward Jones is the big company that doesn't act that way.